You've probably heard it 100 times that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And sure, there's something to be said for a good bowl of oatmeal in the morning. But when it comes to protecting your heart and your brain, especially while you're asleep, it turns out the meal that really deserves a closer look is the one you eat at the end of the day. See, your dinner plate isn't just feeding your belly. It's setting the stage for what happens in your bloodstream overnight. While you're drifting off to sleep, your body is hard at work. It's digesting, pumping, and keeping things running. And depending on what you had for dinner, it can either glide through the night nice and smooth, or run into a bit of trouble along the way. We're not just talking about salt or sugar here. It's about timing, food combinations, and how certain meals can quietly stir up your blood pressure or thicken your blood just when it should be flowing nice and easy. So, in today's episode, we'll dig into how your evening eating habits can either help or hurt your overnight stroke risk. Don't worry, this isn't about giving up all the good stuff. Well, keep it simple, practical, and doable. Just a few gentle shifts can go a long way. Let's take a stroll through this together and find out how your last meal can be your body's bedtime helper, not a troublemaker hiding under the covers. 1. Too much dinner. Too much pressure. Think of your arteries like a bunch of garden hoses. Now imagine spending all day watering your plants, and then, right before bed, you leave the faucet on full blast. Water floods everything. Roots get overwhelmed, and that tidy little garden turns into a mess. That's not far from what happens in your blood vessels when you go to bed right after a heavy, salty dinner. You see, during the night, your body has a beautiful routine. Blood pressure naturally dips, so your heart and brain can rest, repair, and get ready for a new day. But when your evening meal is loaded with sodium and saturated fat, it throws that calm rhythm off track. Your body ends up working overtime instead of coasting into rest mode. Scientists have been looking closely at this. One clinical study published in 2023 in the Journal of Hypertension and Aging Metabolism followed older adults between 60 and 75 who regularly had high sodium dinners late in the evening. Their nighttime blood pressure stayed high for several hours after eating, and researchers found that their risk of early morning stroke rose noticeably over time. So what's the fix? It's not about giving up your favorite dishes altogether. It's more about timing and balance. Try having your main dinner at least 2 or 3 hours before bedtime. Keep it light, easy to digest, and focused on heart-friendly foods like greens, beans, and grilled fish. You don't need to eat like a rabbit, but maybe skip the steak and fries at 9 p.m. Your blood vessels, believe it or not, are a little like you. They appreciate a quiet evening, a bit of space, and a chance to unwind without pressure. It's always when you let them relax. You help protect your brain through the night without lifting a finger. 2. Sweet dreams, not sweet treats. Let's say your brain is like a cozy neighborhood just before midnight. The porch lights are dim. The streets are quiet. And everything is winding down for a peaceful night. But then, out of nowhere, someone blasts the radio, flips on all the lights, and throws a party on every corner. That's kind of what happens when you snack on sugary or starchy foods right before bed, when you eat foods like white bread, pastries, or enjoy a glass of sweet tea late in the evening. Your blood sugar rises quickly. That sudden spike prompts your body to release more insulin to bring things back into balance. But while your system is busy dealing with that sugar rush, another process gets quietly disrupted. The amount of oxygen reaching your brain can temporarily decrease. This becomes especially important during deep sleep, when your brain relies on a steady and consistent oxygen flow to recover and function properly. And the concern doesn't stop there. When oxygen levels drop too much during the night, the risk of stroke begins to rise more noticeably. This becomes a bigger issue as we age. Since the body's ability to regulate blood flow and oxygen delivery naturally slows down over time, your body is built to handle digestion best when you're up and moving during the day. But if a load of sugar or simple starches rolls in after dark, it throws off that rhythm instead of resting. Your metabolism kicks into gear, working overtime while your brain misses out on the deep recovery it needs. This connection became clearer in a 2022 review featured in Neurovascular Health Reports. Researchers looked at adults over 55 who regularly ate high glycemic foods within an hour of bedtime. Many of them showed dips in nighttime oxygen and signs of poor brain circulation. The study gently pointed out that those late-night carbs might be a quiet player in the stroke conversation that deserves a little more attention. Now, take a deep breath, because this is not about giving up every slice of pie or bowl of rice. You don't have to remove all carbohydrates from your life. What truly makes the difference is when you choose to eat them, by moving those sweeter or starchier foods to earlier in the day. You allow your body to handle them when it is most prepared to do so. In the evening, try focusing on slower digesting foods that give your system a break instead of keeping it busy while you sleep. Ingredients like lentils, barley, or roasted vegetables provide steady nourishment without causing a rush of sugar through your bloodstream. They let your body wind down instead of staying alert, which helps your brain rest fully through the night. By letting your brain settle into darkness without a last-minute glucose jolt, you give it the calm, steady flow it needs to rest, recover, and stay protected. 3. Don't let heavy fats weigh down your arteries. After a long day, it's easy to reach for something creamy, salty, or cheesy as a little comfort before bed. A few chips, a slice of rich cheese, or that leftover dessert can feel like a reward. But what most people don't realize is that these fatty treats can quietly change how your blood vessels behave while you sleep. Your arteries are not hard tubes. They're more like soft, stretchy bands that flex with every heartbeat. That gentle movement is what helps blood flow easily through your body. But when you eat a high-fat snack late in the evening, especially one full of saturated fat, it can cause those blood vessels to lose their natural flexibility. To picture it more clearly, think of your arteries like elastic waistbands. When they're in good shape, they stretch and rebound without trouble. But if you start coating them with grease, they begin to stiffen. They don't move the way they should, and that stiffness puts extra pressure on your circulation. For older adults, this becomes especially risky in the early morning hours. When the body is already more prone to sudden shifts in blood pressure, this connection was explored in a 2021 study published in Circulatory Health and Aging. Researchers looked at adults over 60 who regularly ate fatty snacks within 2 hours of bedtime. They found that these participants had noticeably less flexible arteries during the night and were more likely to experience spikes in blood pressure when waking up. That doesn't mean you have to skip your evening snack entirely. You can still enjoy something satisfying, but with a smarter twist. Instead of reaching for heavy, greasy foods, try something like a small handful of walnuts, a slice of avocado on whole grain toast, or a bit of unsweetened Greek yogurt. These options offer healthy fats that support your heart without overloading your system. Every meal leaves a memory in your blood vessels. Choosing foods that help them stay flexible and calm gives your body one more layer of protection while you rest. 4. Drink early. Sleep easy. Hydration is often thought of as something that keeps you from feeling thirsty or helps with digestion during the day. But when you drink your fluids, and especially when you drink them, can quietly influence how your heart and brain behave while you sleep. Think of your body like a peaceful neighborhood winding down for the night. Lights are dimming, the streets are quiet, and everything is getting ready for rest. But then a sudden rush of water comes blasting through the plumbing. That unexpected surge forces the entire system to stay alert when it should be relaxing. And the same thing happens inside your body when you drink a large amount of water late in the evening. Your kidneys kick into high gear. Your blood pressure may start to fluctuate. And chances are, you'll be waking up once or twice to find your way to the bathroom. The problem isn't just broken sleep. It's that every interruption pulls your body out of deep rest, making it harder to regulate pressure and inflammation during the night. And for older adults, those disruptions matter more than we used to think. A 2020 study featured in sleep and cardiovascular function tracked hydration habits in seniors. The researchers found that people who drank most of their fluids earlier in the day, especially before 7 p.m., had fewer sleep interruptions and more stable blood pressure overnight. That doesn't mean you need to cut back on water. The key is timing. Make it a habit to sip water throughout the day, especially between meals, and then gradually slow down your intake after dinner. If you're on medications that affect fluid levels, it's always smart to check with your doctor about when and how to space your drinks. Your body needs rest just as much as it needs hydration. Giving your system a head start during the day lets everything settle when it's time to sleep. That small shift could be one of the easiest ways to give your heart and brain a little extra protection at night. Let's bring it all home with one last walk through the garden. Imagine you've spent the whole day tending to your body the way you might care for your backyard. You've moved around, eaten your meals, maybe even stretched a little. But what you do in those quiet final hours before bed, the way you water that garden, can shape how well it grows through the night. If you flood it with heavy meals or late-night snacks, things get soggy. If you let it settle and give it the right care, it wakes up the next morning refreshed and strong. And that's the goal we're aiming for. So tonight, treat your last meal like the final gentle sweep of a rake through the soil. Choose foods that help your blood vessels relax instead of tightening up. Go easy on the sugar and rich fats as bedtime gets closer. Drink your water throughout the day, instead of saving it all for the evening. These small choices give your heart and brain the peace they need while you sleep. Even when you're not aware of it, your body is still busy during the night. It's fixing, filtering, and setting the stage for tomorrow. With the right support, you give it the chance to wake up clear-headed and well-rested. If something in this episode gave you a new idea or reminded you of a good habit, give us a thumbs up. Share it with someone you care about, especially if they've been having restless nights or worrying about their heart health. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next video. You're always welcome to leave a comment too. We enjoy hearing what's helping you feel better day by day. There's more coming soon with tips on better sleep, steadier blood pressure, and everyday ways to stay sharp after 60. Until then, take care of your plate. Let it take care of you in return. Rest well, and we'll see you next time.